Show for today. Now before we get started, I'd like to ask everybody, try to remain seated throughout the whole show. The only thing I ask, please just don't come up and touch the glass in case I go through it. But I do work with every gator you guys see in here. Each one of these guys does at least 1 or 2 shows a day, so they all take turns. None of them get stressed or anything like that. But the biggest gator we have in here is this guy over here. His name is JJ. He's a whopping 10 feet and 400 pounds. Now he's so big, I do want to point him out to you guys. He is this big guy over here. There he is. Notice how his head alone is around as big as my torso, and he is famous for his blinding speed and aggression. Blinding speed. He's a bit of a sweetheart. He's really not that bad. And try not to look so visibly disappointed. He didn't rip off my arms, guys. Come on. Now, he's so big, people ask us, how old is he, or how old is that one, or that one? And the truth is, we have no idea. There is no way to tell the age of an alligator by looking. No size or measurement tells you, so that's why in here, we cut him in half and count the rings. It's a live show full of horrible jokes, guys. You're going to have to work through the pain with me here. It gets way worse. But like I said, there's really no way to tell their age. An alligator's size is entirely dependent upon diet and environmental factors, not on how old they are. So any one of these alligators could literally be 20 or 75. We'd have no idea. But some records in captivity claim to have alligators over 100 years old, so they're very long-lived. Now, in here we'll feed them raw chicken and other kinds of meat out in the wild. They're what you call an opportunistic hunter. They will eat anything from raccoons, turtles, fish, bird, deer, and of course their favorite, tourists. Yay! Which guys, there's over 1 million alligators out in the state of Florida. If they really wanted to kill and eat people, you'd have people dying every day. We have more people killed annually by vending machines than by alligators, and that is not a bad joke or a punchline. Guy gets angry, he can't get a candy bar, he shakes a vending machine, it falls down and crushes him more often than people get killed by these things, which says everything you guys need to know about alligator aggressiveness and human intelligence. Speaking of, I'm going to go ahead and grab an alligator, but before I do that, I know everybody's looking at the water. You're like, ew, it's yellow, it's gator pee. Guys, it's not gator pee, it's Gatorade. Woo! But it is well water, and we do scrub it out and clean it every single day. Since it comes out of the ground, it has a high iron content. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these guys. So this guy, we have like a specific rotation. So he's one of the newer ones. So he can be a little snappy, we'll see. But for the most part, a lot of these guys tolerate my existence, so it's really not that bad. Now let's see. Let's look inside of his mouth. There are 80 teeth in here, 40 on the top, 40 on the bottom. Now they can actually break their teeth off, grow them back, and they cycle through several thousand in a lifetime. Now that comes in handy because of how hard an alligator can bite. Large alligator can bite down with an entire ton of force within that mouth. That is a whopping 2,000 pounds per square inch of power. Some of y'all don't look impressed with that number. Think about it, 2,000 pounds. That's enough power there to snap any bone in your weak, fragile, and frankly pathetic human body and crush your skull like a potato chip. If you're still not impressed, that's because y'all are on the wrong side of the glass. Now, even though we can bite down so hard, whoa, that's how you lose your hand. But anyways, even though they can bite down so hard, you can keep their mouth shut with your bare hands, as you see me doing right now. All of that power is for closing, very little for opening. So if you're ever about to be attacked, you just gotta turn around, grab the jaws, you'll do great. You're gonna wanna run for your life. But we do have all of these alligators in here for a reason. We're actually an alligator rescue. These are considered to be wild-caught, rescued nuisance alligators. Now, a nuisance gator is one that shows up in a backyard, swimming pool, he ate Fluffy, stuff like that. Now, once when an alligator eats somebody's dog, the state of Florida will send out an alligator trapper to capture and kill the alligator. Unless that dog was a Pomeranian, they'll let them go, it's fine, no one cares? But it's really sad. The state of Florida does kill over 8,000 nuisance alligators a year, which is really not their fault. It's usually a nuisance person that causes the problem, and by that I mean people that feed them. The second you feed this guy, he learns to associate people with food. You don't have it, you are the food. That's why it's against the law to feed them. So what we do here, guys, is we do shows with these nuisance alligators instead of killing them and turning them into a pair of boots, which he obviously appreciates, right? Yes, he does. That's why we're an alligator rescue, because every gator you see here would have sadly been shot and killed if they weren't here with us. And we're very fortunate enough to work with one of the only committed non-kill gator trappers around. I worked under him and I helped rescue these guys in people's backyards myself. One of these guys was caught at 4 in the morning on someone's front doorstep. Imagine you're up early for work. You open your front door and surprise, he's sitting on your welcome mat. Literally what happened. Now that gator was promptly rescued. Again, I say the word rescue because if a different trapper showed up, they just shoot the poor guy and that's that. The reasoning, though, behind that is, as nuisance alligator trappers, none of them actually get paid to capture the gator. The gator itself is your payment, because if the state of Florida paid you with money and he ripped your arm off, you could sue the state for liability. So the state goes, nah. We're not paying you crazy people. Your payment is the body of the alligator, thereby incentivizing other trappers to kill them, to sell the meat and the hide. That's why it's against the law to feed them. So what we do here, guys, is we do shows with these nuisance alligators instead of killing them and turning them into a pair of boots, which he obviously appreciates, right? Yes, he does. That's why we're an alligator rescue, because every gator you see here would have sadly been shot and killed if they weren't here with us. And we're very fortunate enough to work with one of the only committed non-kill gator trappers around. I worked under him and I helped rescue these guys in people's backyards myself. One of these guys was caught at 4 in the morning on someone's front doorstep. Imagine you're up early for work. You open your front door and surprise, he's sitting on your welcome mat. Literally what happened. Now that gator was promptly rescued. Again, I say the word rescue because if a different trapper showed up, they just shoot the poor guy and that's that. The reasoning, though, behind that is, as nuisance alligator trappers, none of them actually get paid to capture the gator. The gator itself is your payment, because if the state of Florida paid you with money and he ripped your arm off, you could sue the state for liability. So the state goes, nah. We're not paying you crazy people. Your payment is the body of the alligator, thereby incentivizing other options for these animals is captivity or death. The state does not allow the release or relocation of nuisance alligators back out into the wild due to their homing ability. What that means is, if I were to basically drop this guy off 100 miles out into the middle of nowhere, give him a couple months, he will literally wind up in the very same backyard he was caught from. They use the Earth's magnetic field to find their way, and that's also why alligators are recognized as such amazing navigators. Navigator. Don't worry, the rest of you will get in a couple minutes. Now, alligator wrestling, guys, is like real wrestling. I'm sorry I don't hurt, headlock, or body slam the poor animal. They're the techniques used by the native tribes of Florida. Now, one of those maneuvers was holding the jaws shut between your chin and your chest, allowing your hands to be free so you could take out a rope to tie the jaws shut, allowing you to bring the animal back alive to camp because meat spoils very quickly out here in the hot Florida sun. Now, this sounds like a horrible, dangerous idea because it is. So I'm going to show it to you, but it makes a cool looking photo. I'm going to give you guys a thumbs out to the side like this. If anything goes horrifically wrong, just switch your camera from photo to video. If possible, send it to me after. Thank you so much. And now for the biggest questions we get asked all day is, why aren't they all attacking me? Why aren't they more aggressive? How am I still alive? And why do y'all look so disappointed I'm still alive? Now, the number one thing people think to themselves is, we just fed them. That's why they're so calm. And if you're thinking that, you're the first person to die. Feeding them does not make them calm and happy. It creates a feeding frenzy. It is the last thing we do for the week. Then we go home. We don't come back in here because they're all going nuts. A lot of the time, though, people think to themselves, I feed my dog and he loves me. Why wouldn't it be the same? Does this look like your dog? He does not think or act like your dog. He sees me as food. I bring food with me. That is what he calls a buy one, get one free. But when an alligator first comes in from the wild, they don't act like this. He is going to try to kill me with everything that he has because he thinks I'm going to kill him and he's going to defend himself out of fear. Once he realizes I'm not going to hurt him, he's honestly a lot more calm, relaxed. He's really tolerating a lot of this because he knows I'm no threat. But he also knows I'm the guy that does the show every day that I work. I do 10 to 15 shows that day. Every gator does one. That's why you're able to see me walking around. They're kind of just like, bro, don't pick me. Don't pick me. But does that make them tame or trustworthy? Absolutely not. These animals only respect me so much if they have a reason to. I basically had to prove to them I'm food that's hard to get. Every single one of them has tried to kill and eat me a bunch of times, and I have to stop them every single time. But notice, alligators, they're really, really lazy. So after a while, they're kind of just like, all right, whatever, it's not worth the trouble. But if I make it easy, if I were to trip and fall, my hand slips, if they think they can creep up on me, they will totally go for it, and it usually happens every day, or one of them's going to try to see if I'm paying attention and try to nibble my foot, and if I'm not, any one of these very, very lazy animals would rip my legs off, eat it in front of me, and not think twice or feel bad about it because he's an alligator, not a Labrador. There's never a bond, there's never a friendship, they are not my pets. I love them. They don't love me. Yes, they bite. That guy in the corner over there bit our old boss before. 3 times. One other guy and almost me. That's why he's our favorite. He's a good boy. Now, right behind the alligator's eyes are their ears. This little flap right here. Everglades. During our dry season, there will be some sections of Everglades that have no water in them. So in preparation for that dry season, alligators, they dig a pond for themselves called an alligator hole, and that pond will be the last place of survival for fish, for a huge surrounding area. In turn, for the land animals, it becomes an oasis for other animals to drink the water and eat the fish that have collected there, which is why they're also called guardians of the Everglades. And now before I do my last trick, guys, let me tell you a bit about myself. You know anything about that job? I know how it looks. I'm currently pursuing an environmental studies degree, and it's always been a dream of mine to work with animals and, of course, teach people about them. And I really do hope every single one of you here will leave with a newfound respect for these very awesome and misunderstood creatures. Only downside, though, to working here, it's really dangerous. And due to the danger factor, I am legally not an employee of the park. That way, I'm not on their insurance. Though if you did rip off my hand, I get to get my student card and a kick out the door. Literally the healthcare plan. Due to liability, all the wrestlers are unpaid volunteers doing the show for free. So if you guys enjoy the show, have fun, learn about gators, like the fact that we're a rescue and we save these goofballs. We really appreciate anything that goes in our little tip jar / hand or place for fun at the end. It's what allows our rescue to be able to function. And now for the not so fun part, guys. So you can't sue me. Legal disclaimer, don't try this on your own. I am calm and comfortable around the animals, not because it's safe, but I have received years worth of training and I am what you call desensitized and mentally unstable. Does take one slip. You can't lose life for limb. I'm lucky I haven't had any bad accidents yet. I've had a bunch of close calls. I've had some friends that did though. One guy got bit in the hand, gator death rolled, snapped his bone in half. Other one got grabbed in the bicep, gator threw him off his back, death rolled, then popped his bicep muscle off the bone, ate the chunk of his arm, and he almost bled out and died. I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm not trying to scare you. I don't want you guys to be afraid of them, but I know I can make it look so easy. People forget. Alligators, they're powerful, apex predators. Never try this or approach them, but look at them. They're not out to get you. They're not going to run and chase you down. That zigzag thing you might have heard is a complete lie. I have never had to do anything faster than a speed walk to get away from an alligator on land. But everything changes when you guys feed them. Swim in their habitat, or worst of all, try to touch them. If you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. And now for the last trick. The last trick is called the face-off. It's called the face-off because if I mess up, my face comes off. You have to have a dark sense of humor, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up his mouth, balance my chin on the edge of the open jaws, and if anything touches inside, they'll slam shut because it's a reflex. Nothing stops the jaws from closing. Yay. Now let's try that again. No, don't be weird. Come on. Look, if you're a good boy, at the end of the show, I will get you a nice chihuahua. Are we good now? Did I get the zoomies out, or are you going to be weird? I'm going to tilt your head back. All right. gets up and he wiggles away and he's done. He is going to lay there for the next 3 hours. Now for you guys, we're going to take it to baby gators, some other cool animals to check out. If you have any questions for me, I'll be standing strategically by the tip jar guide or Venmo, Cash App, whatever. You guys enjoy the show and have fun?
Yay!
Alrighty guys, so for you, it is right back this way for your baby gator photo /